Hello CSUSB family, thank you for joining us for this learning training on maximizing volunteer service for professional development. I'd like to thank the amazing team at the Staff Development Center for working with the Office of Community Engagement to make this learning training possible. Today we'll be talking about maximizing volunteer service for professional development. Our focus will be volunteer service that benefits the public good, not the service that you provide for a university committee or a university event. Volunteer service in the community can greatly benefit your career path and career development. I know that it did for me. I like thinking about volunteer service as a two-way street. Volunteers benefit from the service as much as the cause they choose to help. In this presentation, we will talk about why we volunteer, the different types of volunteer service, and its professional and personal benefits. By the end of the presentation, we hope that your perspective on volunteer service will change. Not only are you investing time in your community, but you're also investing time in yourself by networking, learning new skills, discovering new passion, and becoming a well-rounded professional. There are many different reasons why we choose to volunteer. Some to make friends, some to benefit our communities, and some to learn new skills. But there are many different ways to do those things. Why we choose to volunteer boils down to finding a sense of fulfillment without receiving a tangible result like money or any other sort of payment. And if you're still not convinced, researchers have measured brain activity to discover that being helpful to others delivers immense pleasure. Human beings are hardwired to give to others, and the more we give, the happier we feel. Generally, volunteer service falls in one of three categories: event-based, skills-based, or service-based volunteering. Each type of volunteering is equally important and valuable to the community. So let's talk a little bit about each one. Event-based volunteering are generally one-time activities such as providing time and effort at community events, fundraisers, and fun volunteering activities like Coyote Cares Day. Event-based volunteer sites need all the help they can get and are generally good ways to get introduced to volunteering, to learn more about the impact of local community organizations, and to network. Skills-based volunteering is where professionals use their skills, knowledge, or abilities to benefit a particular cause. Many community organizations may not have the resources or expertise to carry out corporate functions like communications, website design, or fundraising, but they rely on volunteers to become more efficient and effective in these areas. Skills-based volunteers are not always experts in the volunteer work that they do. However, they use their existing skills and abilities to learn more about the task and become more effective volunteers. Last but not least, service-based volunteers act as consultants, mentors, or practitioners for a community organizations or for a cause. Professionals can use these opportunities to become better leaders, to further develop their skills, or to broaden the impact of their work. An example would be volunteering at a local community learning center and working with their staff to develop activities for senior citizens. Your volunteer service complements the work of an existing organization and ultimately creates a bigger impact. As we move through the presentation, keep in mind what kind of volunteer service you are currently participating in and what kind of volunteer service you are looking to be a part of. They are all impactful ways to serve your community and they all have great benefits, but it's something to keep in mind. Before we connect volunteer service to your career, let me briefly discuss how volunteering benefits you. As professionals, time is limited, and it's even more limited when you have a family. Volunteering is a great investment for your limited time since it has multiple benefits in your community, in your personal life, and in your professional career. The first benefit is that volunteers have a greater level of life satisfaction. A national study by the NCSA found that those who volunteer express happier lives than those who do not. In addition, those who do not volunteer are likely to have higher levels of depression. People who volunteer are positive and vibrant individuals, and that positive attitude will have a direct impact on your mood. The second major benefit is reduced levels of stress. Volunteers get a sense of meaning and appreciation, which is both given and received and can act as a stress-reducing activity. A study showed that volunteering increases dopamine levels, a hormone which is associated with happiness. Volunteers also improve relationships with each other. One of the best ways to make new friends and strengthen existing relationships is to participate in a shared activity together. Volunteering is a great way to meet new people who share common interests with you do, and dedicating your time as a volunteer also helps you expand your network and practice some social skills. So we talked about the personal benefits of volunteer service, but now let's talk about how volunteer service can benefit your professional development. Let's start with the obvious benefit to volunteer service. It looks great on your resume. Volunteer service shows that you are a self-motivated and proactive professional. It also shows that not only do you have the skills, but that you'll also use them. We will be hosting a learning training on this topic where we will dive deeper into why you should include volunteer service in your resume. We will share some best practices and guide you through a resume example. The next benefit is that volunteering also presents the opportunity to network. Volunteering is such a natural place to make meaningful connections. You're volunteering with people who have similar interests as you do, and you're having fun while doing it. It is common for us to get emails from students letting us know that they found employment as a result of volunteering with a community partner. Another benefit to volunteering is that it helps you find the correct career path. In other words, it can guide you through discovering your true passion. Sometimes we fall victim to feeling stuck, thinking, do I want to do this for the rest of my career, or what job do I see myself doing? And those are all great questions to ask yourself. Volunteering allows you to explore other career opportunities, get new perspective, and hopefully have a better understanding of your purpose. Engaging in volunteer service work is a non-threatening way to figure it all out and feel comfortable when moving to a new career path. To build on the last benefit, volunteering allows you to develop and refine new skills. Mastering your current role is great, but that doesn't mean you have to stop learning and stop experiencing new things. Volunteering allows you to add new skill sets to your resume that you might not be able to get in your current position. For example, if you wanted to get into social media marketing, well, you can reach out to local community centers, organizations, or nonprofits and get that experience. And the examples can go on and on. While volunteering, you can practice that second language, you can have a leadership role that you might not be getting in your current role, or you can further develop your soft skills. Volunteers also make better leaders. A study by the Department of Labor Statistics concluded that volunteers had an expanded perspective, higher levels of interpersonal skills, worked better with diverse teams, and motivated and inspired others, all traits of a good leader. Lastly, volunteering makes you more confident. Volunteering will mold you into a well-rounded individual. When you go into your next interview, you will have an expanded network, more knowledge in the work you are applying for, and you will have the skills that you've put into practice. Also, your new volunteering experience will give you a different perspective on the work that you are interviewing for, which will undoubtedly make you stand out from the crowd. Now that we went over the personal and professional benefits of volunteering, let's talk about some questions that you should ask yourself to build a strong connection between volunteer service and your professional development. The first question you should ask yourself is, what issues or causes matter the most to you? You want to volunteer your time in something that you are passionate about, and you want to make the most out of your volunteer service. Pick an organization that you identify with and that shares the same vision, beliefs, and values that you do. Finding the right organization will make your time spent volunteering more meaningful, and you'll be more invested in the tasks, which will result in more experience gained. The next thing to consider is, what level of participation do you wish to commit? And this can vary a lot between individuals, and it's also good to keep in mind those three different categories of volunteer service: events-based, skills-based, or service-based. If you're just looking to learn what another department or organization does, a good way to start may be through volunteering during an event. You're likely to get a good opportunity to talk to people connected with the organization throughout those types of events. However, if you're looking to develop new skills or to get more of a leadership experience, then a skills-based or service-based volunteer appointment might be best. Next, consider what talents and skills you are looking to share or gain, and go in with a game plan. Do some research and identify the needs of the community organization. You can do this research yourself, or you can simply talk with the organization staff and find out what they need to offer a better service to the community. But always have a mental list of the skills, talents, and abilities that you are looking to develop or refine. For example, if I want to go in and get some marketing experience, I would ask questions about how the partner reaches out to the community. If there's an opportunity for you to volunteer and contribute to a newsletter, to creating social media content, or to writing press releases, then go for it. If you want to connect volunteer service to your professional development, you need to be aware of what you are hoping to get from your experience. Once you find an organization that you believe in and that will let you grow professionally, make sure there's an understanding of the time commitment. All good partnerships require great communication, so be clear with the community partner about your volunteer appointment. If you can only volunteer a couple weekends over the span of 3 months, let your community partner know and ensure that there is mutual understanding. Another way to maximize your volunteer service is by being formally recognized for your efforts. As a CSUSB employee, you are eligible to apply for the Do Good Award. This award is given to CSUSB students, staff, or faculty in recognition of completing more than 25 volunteer service hours. This award can be a great addition to your resume, to your next evaluation, or to your office space. If you would like to learn more about this opportunity, what does and does not count as volunteer service, and what award recipients receive, please visit engage.csusb.edu and click on the Do Good Award tab. There's a common phrase used in volunteering organizations. Volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they just have the heart. After reviewing the benefits of volunteering, it might sound like a scary commitment, but it shouldn't. Volunteering brings joy, and there's a lot of ways to volunteer without impacting your work or your social life. Here are some tips and best practices that might help you get started with your volunteer service. First, go online. As we learned this year, we can continue our great work from home, and volunteer service is no different. There are many ways to volunteer virtually and benefit your community. Talk with your volunteer site and learn how you can volunteer virtually. And don't forget that our website has a list of virtual volunteering opportunities that might be interesting for you. The second tip is use volunteer service as a social event. Coordinate with your volunteer service site and invite your friends and family to join in the service. You can have everyone join in the spirit of service by doing a one-day volunteer project, and don't forget to celebrate the great work completed. You can also volunteer as a family. Be sure to consider what activities everyone enjoys and the skill set that everyone brings. Answering these questions with members of your family ensures better buy-in and ensures better outcomes for the community. For example, if you already enjoy hiking with your family, consider cleaning a hiking trail. Volunteering with your children is also a very good opportunity to be a great role model. And this will give children a lifelong commitment to service. Children love to copy their parents, and according to the National Director of Volunteers for America, 2/3 of youth who volunteer become active adults who volunteer. To conclude this presentation, let's review what we learned. We know that there are 3 general types of volunteer service categories: event-based, skills-based, and service-based. All are important to the health of our communities, and they can all benefit your professional development differently, whether you volunteer to grow your network, use volunteer service to develop or refine your skills, or use it to mentor or lead a cause. Volunteer service has personal benefits, which include greater level of life satisfaction, reduced stress levels, and improved relationships with others. These are all important to stay mentally healthy and productive at work. We talked about the many professional benefits of volunteer service, which include earning a standout resume, lots of networking opportunities, opportunities to learn about your passions and your career paths. Volunteering also helps develop and refine skills and become a better leader. Most importantly, it helps you become confident in your abilities. We also discussed how you can maximize your volunteer service to improve your professional development. The biggest takeaway is plan ahead. To maximize your volunteer service, think critically about how you want to benefit the community, and what skills you are looking to develop. Once you figure out in what areas you plan to professionally develop, you can find a community organization that shares your values and your beliefs and start enjoying your volunteer service. Lastly, we mentioned CSUSB's exciting new program, the Do Good Award, a formal recognition to all the great volunteers who complete more than 25 hours of service. We will have a presentation later in the month on October 27th where you can learn more about the award. And be sure to participate in Coyote Cares Day virtual 5K event to receive 4 hours of volunteer service. Thank you for joining the Office of Community Engagement and the Staff Development Center for this learning training. Volunteer service can definitely advance your career. We just need to have a game plan to maximize the impact of volunteer service for our professional development. This presentation is also accompanied by a handout titled Maximizing Volunteer Service for Your Professional Development. Be sure to save that to your desktop and review before your next volunteer service efforts. If you have any questions, you can contact the Office of Community Engagement via email at leaveyourpawprint@csusb.edu. Thank you, and remember to be wise, stay healthy, and most importantly, be kind.